Imagine the world's cameras focused on a White House luncheon, where a single offhand comment from the US president sets off a wave of controversy across an entire continent. This is exactly what happened on July 9th, 2025, when President Donald Trump, hosting 5 West African leaders, singled out Liberian President Joseph Boakai with an unexpected compliment. According to Reuters and the Washington Post, as Boakai finished his speech in flawless English, Trump remarked, "Thank you, and such good English. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully?" "Where? In Liberia?" To which Boakai politely chuckled and replied, "Yes, sir." What might have seemed like a minor moment in American politics quickly turned into a global debate about ignorance, respect, and the power of words. To truly understand why this moment caused such a stir, let's look at the actual exchange as captured by CNN News. Pay close attention to President Trump's words as he addresses President Boakai.
There was an awkward moment at the White House on Wednesday. Donald Trump praised the president of Liberia for his, quote, good English, even though English is the official language of Liberia.
Liberia is a longtime friend of the United States, and we believe in your policy of making America great again.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully?
As you just witnessed, President Trump seemed genuinely surprised by President Boakai's English fluency, pressing him about where he learned to speak so beautifully. While Trump may have meant this as a compliment, the reaction was immediate and fierce. Social media lit up across Africa. According to Al Jazeera and AP News, many found the remark not only patronizing, but also revealing of a deeper ignorance. English is Liberia's official language and has been for nearly 2 centuries. Critics in Liberia and the broader African community quickly called out what they saw as a display of colonial thinking. Writer William V.S. Tubman III called the remark a reflection of how colonial attitudes continue to shape expectations in the West. Activist Fatoumata Binta Sow explained to Reuters that she's often asked the same question in America, "Where did you learn to speak English so well?" and sees it as proof that Liberia's history and identity are still invisible to many Americans. Opposition leaders like Fode Massaquoi in Monrovia went even further, describing Trump's behavior as condescending and very disrespectful to an African leader. For many, it felt like the leader of Liberia's closest ally didn't know the most basic fact about their country. But why did this comment touch such a nerve, not just in Liberia but across Africa and the diaspora? The answer is history. Liberia was founded in 1822 by freed African American slaves, and English was established as its official language from the very beginning. Even today, while over 20 indigenous languages are spoken in Liberia, English remains the language of government, education, and national identity. President Boakai, like most Liberian politicians, was educated entirely in English. In fact, English is an official language in more than 20 African countries, including Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and South Africa, a direct result of colonial history or, in some cases, deliberate choices by modern governments to unify their nations and connect with global markets, as reported by Africa Business Insider and GSNeducation.com. Trump's question struck many Africans as a perfect example of how the continent is still often viewed through a lens of outdated stereotypes and casual ignorance in the West. Time magazine and CNN noted that this was not an isolated incident. In his first term, Trump called African nations shithole countries, denied by him but confirmed by US lawmakers present. And in his second term, he has cut back major humanitarian aid to Africa, including dissolving key USAID programs, and imposed controversial travel bans targeting several African nations. Trump has also publicly struggled with non-American accents, once saying to an Indian reporter, "I can't understand a word he's saying. It's the accent." Such moments reinforced the sense that African nations are not always respected or taken seriously on the world stage. The diplomatic consequences of this exchange were handled with grace by Liberian officials. Foreign Minister Sarah Baisolo Nyanti told Reuters that Boakai took no offense, interpreting Trump's remarks as a recognition of the American influence in Liberian English. But many Liberians felt let down, their pride wounded that their president had to smile through a moment that for them symbolized centuries of being underestimated or misunderstood. Why does this matter beyond the headlines? Because in international relations, words are more than just words. They are signals of respect, understanding, and equality. According to think tanks like the Atlantic Council, cultural literacy is now a vital form of diplomatic capital. Leaders who know the basics, like an ally's official language, are less likely to cause offense and more likely to build real partnerships. Conversely, ignorance and condescension can erode trust and make space for rivals such as China to present themselves as more respectful and reliable partners. As Time reports, China's success in Africa is partly due to its willingness to treat African nations as equals, without the moralistic or patronizing tone that sometimes characterizes Western engagement. This moment also offers powerful lessons for both Africans and global partners. For Africans, it's a reminder of the importance of telling their own stories and challenging outdated narratives. For the global North, it's a wake-up call to move beyond stereotypes and assumptions, and to approach Africa with humility, curiosity, and genuine respect. In a world where every word can go viral and shape public opinion, leaders and citizens alike must be vigilant about how they perceive and discuss other cultures.
Here at the African Reset, we see this episode not just as a viral moment, but as a teachable case study on the need for informed, respectful engagement in our global era. Africa's rise in world affairs demands more than economic partnerships. It requires cultural literacy, humility, and mutual respect. Africans should continue to assert their narratives and demand that partners engage with real knowledge and open-mindedness. For global leaders, the lesson is clear. Do your homework, listen, and never underestimate the importance of understanding your counterparts. Respect is not just good manners, it's good diplomacy. So let's turn this controversy into a learning moment. What can the world take away from Trump's good English remark? For one, knowledge is power, and respect is the foundation of any strong partnership. By learning about each other's histories and cultures, we can avoid needless offense and focus on what really matters, building a fairer, more interconnected world. If you found this analysis insightful, please subscribe for more data-driven stories and in-depth commentary about Africa's changing role in the world. I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced or witnessed moments of cultural misunderstanding like this? What lessons do you think world leaders should learn from the Trump-Boakai exchange? And which African issue or leader should we explore next? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this important conversation going and help reset the global narrative on Africa.